And you are locked in with us for the official YouTube channel. All right. Information, okay? So I like to be clear, and we got the assistant assisting us today at the stop here in South Carolina for Biden 2020 is going to be one of the names. We got Valerie Biden, who is Joe Biden's sister, and the political bus has already came, and then is Valerie Biden Owens. And then we're going to have Symone D. Sanders. Now here's some information on Symone. She served as National Press Secretary for the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. Is this the right person? Is that the right person? Yes. Symone Sanders?
Yes.
Okay. And this is all live streamed, so you're getting the full scene and the behind the scene moments. She served during the 2016 presidential campaign for Bernie Sanders, and then she left the campaign in late June 2016, and she is now going to be representing for Biden. So we are here for the live stream. We're going to be waiting for them to come in, and we thank you so much for locking in to our official, unofficial, spur of the moment campaign coverage here for Biden in South Carolina for 2020. So we'll be back when they come on in. I'm BEBÉ Davis for 1021 Magazine, publisher and founder, and we will be giving you all the social media tags for you to follow, and we will be covering on both sides for everyone to get their chance to talk and see what their agendas and all of their points to be. So make sure you stay locked in. We have a good crowd here in South Carolina, and we thank you so much for locking in to the political coverage. Now, this one right here, make sure you find the thing down there. I want that back on there. So I'm very excited about doing the coverage for both. The Democratic National Convention was held the last time when President Obama was in office, and that was in the business-based city for 1021 Magazine in Charlotte, North Carolina, also known as the Queen City. You see the other tag? And also we have my mom here assisting me, Davis. And I think it fell on the floor. Oh, is that the only one? Okay, we're making sure we're getting all those batteries and those things together. But anyway, we want you to stay locked in, and we'll be back. I'm BEBÉ for 1021 Magazine. And over there speaking with the representatives, that is our mayor, also former representative Mr. Grady Brown. So we have everyone entering right now. This is live stream on 1021 Magazine on the official YouTube channel.
Thank you for having us today. We appreciate it.
Okay, there we go. Okay, and all right, there's Sanders. Okay.
Nice to see you. Thank you for having us. Hi, how you doing? Thank you, thank you. She's great. Okay, good.
All right, and that's the Biden's sister. All right. So you got some of everyone here on YouTube. We have a really great crowd that has come out. And everything, so we love that.
We'll take it.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Hello, BEBÉ Davis, 1021 Magazine.
What's your name?
BEBÉ Davis, 1021 Magazine. All right.
Hi, Valerie. Brenda, how are you?
That's Miss Gas. Okay, and then this is the business of Mr. Bryant right there. And then there's Miss Bryant. Now Miss Bryant, we're gonna get her on camera right there. Okay, so and then there's Will Wheeler. He's a representative for South Carolina in Lee County. All right.
Listen, we both
Okay. I'm gonna stick around and
Okay, I think everything is about to start, and this is Mom. Mom has been with me on the campaign trail, the 1020 magazine, so we're about to get started with this press conference and everything. So thanks for locking in, everyone, right here on YouTube, 1020 magazine, and we're live stream, so thanks for locking in. So we hope to get up close and personal with a lot of people. So just say like this.
Jessie?
She already got it. Okay, here we go.
It is my privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome on this beautiful, sunny, post-snowy day here in Lee County.
All right.
To Miss Valerie Biden Owens and Symone Sanders is going to be behind her. Y'all, thanks for coming down. Lee County loves your brother.
Yes.
We're thrilled to have him here. You know, it's not the first time that well, it might be the first time you've been here, but I remember meeting Vice President here when I was the party chairman, Mr. Bryant, when he was running with President Obama, I guess in 2008, over on Cedar Lane. I've got a picture somewhere, and I think one of my kids who's now graduating from high school is with me. It's a long relationship, and we know that he is our guy, and we are so glad to have y'all with us today. And I want you to pump us up and get us to work.
All right.
Let's give him a big hand.
Okay, so I'm gonna pump you up. I'm gonna start by telling you the honest to God truth. It is not easy raising an older brother.
Right.
I'm gonna go right to heaven, and every year he gets that much older. You know, he's way older than me now. Thank you for being here, for bothering. Make no mistake about it, South Carolina, we're counting on you to pull us over the finish line. What we have to do is remember that we haven't heard from the backbone of the Democratic Party, which is African American. 99.9% have not had a chance to get to the ballot. 8% of Latinos and Asian Americans have not gone to the ballot yet. So we are in, I want to reassure you, we are in a marathon. This is not a sprint. We are in it, and we're going to win. And you got to just get us to March 3rd to Super Tuesday, and then we're going to clean the clock.
Right.
So it's a lot of work. Because, you know, no Democratic candidate should be able to get the nomination without support of people of color and a diverse coalition, and that's what we're about. There's a lot that's at stake. I've been preaching to the choir. We're talking about healthcare, we're talking about education, we're talking about climate, and your voices really matter, and we again are counting on it, because we need to have a candidate who can bring together the diverse population and ethnicity and religions, and bring everybody back to be in the United States of America. And we need a commander-in-chief who on day one can command the respect of the rest of the world, and you know, doesn't have to put on training wheels. We've been talking about all the domestic issues which really count, but a commander-in-chief is concerned not only with the Social Security, which is the economic and jobs and healthcare, but also national security. And a person whose word is his bond and whose word is America's bond, and who's respected by both his adversaries and his allies, and that would be Joe. Look, I know all of you, I assume all of you know about Joe's policies, or you wouldn't be here. So what I thought I'd do is, instead of giving you vote for Joe because he did this legislation and this legislation, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about him from a personal perspective, from a sister's point of view. And you know, a kid sister has a book on a big brother. You know, we know it all. When Joe first ran for the Senate, everybody thought he was nuts because he was supposedly, he was too young. He was young. He was too young. He was too liberal. We didn't have any money. We didn't have any party organization. And he was considered to be a hot shot with no shot. And the pundits, who all happened to be men at the time, said, you know, Joe, you gotta, if you're gonna do this, you gotta have a campaign manager, somebody who's brilliant and is a strategist and who has experience. So, ta-da.
Okay.
He chose me. Now, and I've run all of his campaigns ever since he ran for class president. I'm not this time around because I'm the vice chair at the Biden Institute for Domestic Policy at the University of Delaware. So I can't be running a university, a public university, and his campaign. So I do this on my spare time. So, to all the pundits, they thought this was nuts that he would choose his kid sister to run his campaign. But to us, it made perfect sense because since my entire life, my brother has brought me along with him. I opened my eyes and he was there, and he put out his hand. He said, "Come on, kid, we got things to do and places to go and people to see," and we began our journey. And when his friends would say, "Why did you bring a girl?" His answer was, "She's not a girl, she's my sister."
That's right.
He told me that anything that he could do, I could do better. Somebody would say, "Boy, Biden, you are really smart." He said, "Well, you're not my sister, she's smarter." Now, the reason I tell you that is not just because to tell you that he was a great big brother, but because that's how Joe deals with the people that he meets, and that's why he's a leader. Because what he does, he's the kind of person who helps others find their own power. You know what the kiss of death is, don't you? It's like, bless your little heart, I'm going to take care of you. My brothers doesn't never say that. He said, bless your little heart, get off your fanny and let's take care of it.
Do something.
And so we don't need to be empowered. We already are powerful.
Right.
We just need the opportunity, and we need the confidence and the guts to get up and go take it. And that's what my brother did with me, and that's what he's done with the community writ large. We were raised in a middle-class home with unbending middle-class values, which were faith, family, and duty. My dad was a car salesman. Our dad, there's three brothers and me. So I never knew that women were disenfranchised. I thought they ran the world because I had three brothers, and they no sooner cross me than cross a snake, because again, sisters rule. But my dad was a car salesman, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, like most moms were at that time. And they told us that we could be anything we wanted to be. And my brother went on to be a senator and then vice president and now running for president. They told us that America was a land of great opportunity and it was a very special place. But they told us to look around, and what was a land of great opportunity for us was not an equal playing field for everybody else. There was not equal justice, and there was not equal opportunity. And Mom and Dad said, when you see injustice, or when you see inequality, it's your job, darn it, to stand up and to engage. And that's what my brother has done his entire public life. He took it to heart to help protect and grow the American dream. And that's why he passed the Violence Against Women Act, went on campuses to do It's on Us. He was the first person to speak out on marriage equality. And he's the one who, wants to make sure that our community colleges, at least 2 years of community college or 2 years of training or apprenticeship are free, so that everybody's got a shot. Because he believes, which is middle class. When the middle class rises, when we do well, everybody does well. I think that probably one of the most defining characteristics of my brother is something that, a lesson that he learned from our dad. Our dad was a gentleman and a gentle man. And he told us from time I can remember that the greatest sin was the abuse of power. And that's something that my brothers and I took to heart. The abuse of power comes, as we all know, in many different ways. When we think of it, the first thing we think about is physical. But it's physical, it's social, it's economic, and it's psychological. And we all know that you don't have to tear your skin to have your heart ripped out. Mm-hmm. And that's what's been happening to us here in this country. We're having our heart ripped out. Joe learned that lesson early on, and it is central to who he is. When he was a little kid, he was a terrible stutterer. He couldn't string more than 3 words together at a time. And kids made fun of him. Kids are cruel sometimes. And because of that, my brother knows what it feels like to be silenced and to be shut down and to be bullied. But he determined early on that he was not going to be defined by a bully. And instead, he developed a backbone of steel. He understood also early on that we all have our bullies. It's not unique. I bet if you just think for a moment, it doesn't even take you that long to remember that kid in 5th grade or the person in your workplace right now, and the bile kind of, when you think about it, rises to the back of your throat. Because humiliation has a long shelf life.
Yes.
The story, I want to tell you a little side story. My brother education was the key when my parents said, that the world is your oyster, you can go out and do whatever you want, but we had to be educated. So we went to Catholic parish schools, and then I went to the all-girls Catholic school, which was Ursuline Academy, and my brother went to Archmere Academy. And he worked in the summers to pay for his tuition, and thank God I had a bachelor uncle, and I was his favorite, and he paid for my tuition to go to Ursuline. And our job was to be good students. That was what our end of the bargain was. So Joe's at Archmere, and he wanted to play football. I mean, if you asked him what he wanted to be, a president or a doctor or a football player, he would pick football. But he was a little guy. This is probably, I think it was a sophomore, junior year. But he didn't grow up to be this, he was a late bloomer, and I did not grow up to be this voluptuous woman overnight. It took me some time. So my brother was littler and scrappy. So the football team won their championship. It wasn't, this is a small Catholic boys' school. They didn't win the state championship or all conference. I want to be very careful that whatever it was, whether it was the Catholic League or CYO, it was a big deal to them. They won their division. And so everybody on the team got a football with all the guys signed it. And my brother came home and showed me the football. And I looked down and I saw the big guy in the team the big guy whose name I remember but won't say. And he signed the ball to, it was dash Biden. And I said, Joey, look at this. The guy finally acknowledges you. I mean, he was little, he was scrappy, he was fast. And I said, he's finally giving you credit. God love him. And my sister, I didn't say God love him, but good for him. And my brother looked at me and smiled and he said, only a kid sister would say that. He said, dash stands for Joe Biden.
Oh, wow.
I still remember the guy. Yeah. So, in response again, I don't think that my brother is unusual. We all had tragedies and we all have trials. But we all have a choice to make when that happens to us. And when you meet a bully, or you've been bullied, you can choose to become a bully yourself. And you can hate and despise and disdain people who don't look like you, who don't talk like you, and whose values that you have no clue what their values are. Or you can choose and understand that we're all in this together and that we have to work together to make things happen. And there's a quality that is so missing in our civil discourse now, and it's called empathy. And my brother chose empathy. He's been there, he's walked the walk, and he gets it. In the tragic part, but he's had faith in family to carry him through, and in the plain old bullying part. So I think that and again, that's what he spent his life. He spent his life helping people who are disenfranchised or left behind through no fault of their own. That's what she drives him crazy. She is a power unto herself. She is fierce. And you need somebody who a strength and a strong person, and my brother surrounds himself with strong women. And Symone is our senior advisor. She and I are traveling the state. We're all over, but she can raise hell all on her own and hopefully get you going with her. So go ahead.
All right.
I'm so lucky to have Valerie here today. We only have a couple more minutes because they got us on such a tight schedule. Y'all, it's not even crazy, okay? Kind of runs a tight ship back there. But we thank y'all for coming out today. As Val said, we're in a battle for the soul of the nation. So we appreciate everything y'all are doing. We are stepping it up and going to do a little bit more. I know I've heard that people want some yard signs, and I'm getting some yard signs delivered up in here tomorrow. So please, 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 if you did not sign in or sign up yet, please sign in, and we will, and mark to make sure if you need a yard sign or any other materials, we will make sure we get that for you. We're in the final stretch, okay? We're in the final stretch, and we believe that we can get it done. Our organization in Nevada is looking very good. Tomorrow are the Nevada caucuses, and Vice President Biden is in Nevada. He'll be here tomorrow night, back in the state of South Carolina, and he can't wait to get back. And we feel like we are doing extremely well. Post New Hampshire, we said that this was phase 2 of our campaign, and post Nevada, and as we roll into South Carolina, will be phase 3. We fully believe that this is the launching pad to the rest of the Democratic nomination. The road to the White House absolutely runs through South Carolina. And it's on talking about issues such as healthcare, building on the success of Obamacare, talking about the failure of this state to expand Medicaid, and understanding that we need a healthcare plan that will do that work, a healthcare plan that will lower costs across the board. And that's what Vice President Biden's plan does. But also talking about issues such as the economy. Donald Trump wants to talk about the economy. He says it's good, but he forgets to mention is that's the Obama-Biden economy's coattails that he's riding.
That's right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's why his economy is so good. But wages, since the Trump administration has taken over, are stagnant in a lot of places. People are still working 2-3 jobs to put food on the table to feed their families. And the reality is we need a president who's going to jumpstart our economy again, get that Obama-Biden economy back working, and that will be Joe Biden. But I think another thing that we often always talk about, and I think that is underlying, especially right now, given everything that's going on in the world, is our foreign policy. And we need a president who's going to help us reassert ourselves on the world stage, where we can be proud, okay, when our president goes out of the country, that he's not going to say something, he's going to embarrass us on the national stage. And we just need to reassert ourselves in the world. America used to be a leader. We have led on everything from climate change to business to innovation, and we can get back to that place, but we need a president who is ready on day one, who doesn't need on-the-job training to get that done. So I don't know about y'all, but I watched the debate the other day. I saw a lot of people, only one commander-in-chief, Joe Biden.
That's it.
Okay, I saw a lot of folks that talked about President Obama, but I only saw one person on that stage that stood behind him for 8 years as vice president. That's Joe Biden.
Yes.
So we appreciate your support. We are doing everything we can. How many folks in here already early vote or absentee voted? Okay. If you haven't, you still can. There's 17 reasons you can absentee vote. I'm sure everybody in this room can find one. I know some people, though, just really like to go to the polls on election day. I'm one of those people. I like to go and get my sticker. I like to wear my sticker. So election day is the 29th. We are doing everything we can to get out the vote. So thank you to those of y'all that signed up already to make phone calls to help canvass. Making phone calls is one of the most helpful things you can do for our campaign. So we think we're going to get it done here in South Carolina, but we need you to do it with us. Thank you so much. We have time for one question. Anybody? Yes, sir.
I just read that Trump is coming to.
Of course he is. Donald Trump is following us all around America. He is. He came to Iowa right before the debate. He was in Las Vegas. He was in Las Vegas earlier this week, and I do believe he'll be in North Charleston next week. And so you know why Donald Trump is coming down here? You know why he's coming? Joe Biden, he is scared. Donald Trump is so scared.
He's in love with my brother.
Honestly.
He usually goes for tall blondes, but he's
So scared of seeing Joe Biden at the ballot box that he done got himself impeached. And now he is running around the country hoping to muck up, truly, hoping to muck up people going to the polls. That's what this is really about. And so I think the loudest and most forceful message we can send Donald Trump is to Joe Biden winning the South Carolina primary next Saturday, and I think we're going to get it done. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. We got time for a couple photos. Let's keep the pictures in chat.
Well, we're gonna do a video real quick. This is BEBÉ Davis with 1021 Magazine. We follow you all.
Guess what? We got a new hashtag.
Oh, they got a new hashtag. We love your boots too. We did the boots cam, but we love you. We're on 1021 Magazine on Instagram. I'm the first woman of color to do the full feature digital magazine.
Okay, yeah.
But everybody loves Symone.
Hello, everybody.
You did ever since we did that. You were doing it for everybody. So we're definitely going to be behind you. And I'm in Charlotte, but I can't hear.
We're happy to be here. Look, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take young people.
Yes.
We need an intergenerational coalition. There is not a more powerful person in America than a young person with the ability to vote in this election.
Exactly.
So we have to demonstrate our power, get out there and get engaged. That's why I'm out there. I look forward to seeing y'all at the ballot box.
All right, you got it here on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And that's Mama.
This lip color, yeah.
All right. Okay, everybody. This is a live stream, and here with Joe Biden's sister. She did a really good job. We had a lot of people here who are engaged, who came out to help and hear things, and it's so good to have a really good crowd. We will be getting that information for South Carolina and also business based in Charlotte, North Carolina. We will be getting that information. Now, Mama, come here and let's get a little political thing in with us. So I thank Mom again for helping me, because for the DNC 2012, she was right there.
Yeah.
And we also want to send love also to the National Black Caucus, because they really showed great hospitality. So we're going to try our best to get out there to Wisconsin for the DNC. And also, again, we do fair and balanced, and we're going to be getting out there to hear both sides as well for the RNC. Is there somebody who want to come and get in? Yes, you won't come in, but you want to go, where's Linda Mama and everything. And we got a lot of people who come in, so we're just going to be showing everyone. They're taking different photo ops and stuff like that, so it's really good. Go get Linda Mama and everything. Yeah, tell them to come on in. That's right, so. And this lovely lady, been knowing for a long time, and we are excited to have everybody out there. And let everybody on YouTube know what your name is. And she is for Biden, and we want to make sure that we get the word out to everybody, especially the young people and everything, get the word out. So we feel good about this election and coming up and the campaign. Okay, but we thank you so much for coming. Yes, hello there. And then we got these beautiful ladies. Y'all feel pretty good about coming out and everything.
Enjoy everything.
Y'all want to make, and look at Miss Diane and all the pretty ladies. So y'all feel good about everything, and then helping get the word out to the young people as well. Definitely, because I truly feel he is going to be the one, especially when you're talking about the debates.
Yeah.
You know, because he's been on all the investigative committees, I think that's one that Trump can't stop. Right there. I think it's right. So we appreciate you all coming out. This will be on YouTube, everybody. That's all right. Look here. We got the pretty ladies on YouTube. So we really appreciate that and everything. So it's good seeing you all. All righty. All right. So y'all take care. Okay, so I think we've done our job, and let me go get. Let me go get. We're gonna.
My dad gets it all the time. My dad, everybody says that they know my dad.
We're gonna go and we appreciate that Bryant for giving us the opportunity for the DNC National Convention to come here and everything. Thomas Bryant, we already got you. Mama get that. So anyway, we do appreciate the Bryants for coming out and giving the opportunity for the business and everything. So we're gonna come here with these ladies and see how they're feeling as well. Now, ladies, y'all know exactly who I am. This is Jessie Mason Davis' daughter. No, yes, ma'am. And also NCNW North Carolina, but I'm getting ready to switch that over to the Lee County branch. But we got two powerful ladies here who also make things get done here in South Carolina. We heard about you with the recent post office thing. We were in Terry and getting that back together. I'll be knowing, I get the information. And then we got Miss Gas right here. But I'm going to come this way and get in front. Now, I'm a publisher of 1021 Magazine, which is the first, I'm the first woman, period, to do a full feature digital magazine online since 2002. So I always give love back. So we're on YouTube right here for live stream. How do you all feel about Joe Biden for president with the agendas and everything? We'll start with you first.
With me?
Yes, ma'am. And you can state your name for everyone too.
Okay. Well, my name is Betty Tony, and I'm a Lucanian, South Carolina.
Yes, ma'am.
And Joe Biden is the best candidate to what term? I can't even remember the president's name. Because honestly, if this country is not ready for a woman president, they're definitely not ready for a homosexual president. So those two, if we can get Biden, we have to wonder which one will we be willing to take.
Right. And with the agendas with the Social Security, which is a concern, also the agendas for HBCU schools and everything, we definitely want to see what a lot of things are going to be addressed about and what their thoughts are. And definitely, as far as here in the county too, to get that vote out, especially to the young people as well.
And honestly, and they need to ask themselves the question, can Senator the older man,
Bernie Sanders,
Sanders, can he produce what he's saying? You know, so that so many folks don't go down the wrong path.
Right.
Having him think that he can give them free education.
Is that plausible? How long would that take?
Yeah.
You know, because you're talking about other. Like, for example, always like Canada. Canada is free healthcare and free education. And like you said, it's good when you talk about it. But what are going to be the steps? Because like right now, look at what happened with this impeachment. The Senate shut it down.
Shut it down. And they're still behind this president.
So we're going to have to do a lot of voting, not just for the president, but y'all going to have to get out there and make some changes in the Senate.
We definitely need to get rid of Senator Graham.
And there it is. And we got that from you. And now we want to turn over to you and state your name for everybody. Oh, you're straight to go.
I'm Carrie Gass. I'm a native of Lee County and born and bred here.
And been on plenty of boards and everything and fighting for the good of the county as well. So now what are your thoughts on going for Biden?
Well, if we don't support him, I don't know where the end will be, because I fell in love with him before he supported Obama. He made such a good vice president to Obama, and the best predictor of what a person will do is what he has done. And therefore, my support goes to Biden, because I have all faith and I'm praying for him, and I believe that he will do what he said. These are just words that the other one is speaking. But let's look at what they have done and what they are doing, and how they letting the president get away. Why don't somebody stand up to him?
Those are a lot of big burning questions that we have, but we definitely got to get out to the polls. I'm not even worried too much about the older generation. We definitely got to get the younger generation back encouraged to get out and vote as much as possible, because a lot of times they look at this stuff and they feel like, well, what's the point? But when you look at other things and you see people ask what was the point for other things, and things got done. So we appreciate this, ladies, and everything for giving us that information, because not only is this going to be information right here, but it's also going to be information for the youth also to look at and make sure that they get on out and vote.
Amen. Yeah, we're depending on the youth.
We are depending on the youth. So we got some information from them. Y'all can make sure y'all lock into YouTube. We're going to definitely be trying to get out to Wisconsin. So you can look for us covering a lot more of the political campaign and see how things go. And we're going to try and get in touch and get some information here from Will Wheeler, who is the representative. And then we'll close out this information. So we're going to see if we can get some information. Hello, how are you? Now, we're going to be on YouTube, yes. Okay. And we wanted, because we covered the DNC when it was in Charlotte, and we're going to be trying to make our way out there to Wisconsin. All right. So we want you to introduce yourself and just let us know about what your thoughts are with Biden and the campaign and everything.
Sure. So I'm Will Wheeler, Representative Will Wheeler. I represent Lee County and part of Sumter County and part of Kershaw County in the House. I endorsed Joe Biden, I think in May, maybe April of last year, about as soon as this all got kicked off, because I've got nothing but 100% confidence that he's the only guy for me, and he's the only guy that can beat Donald Trump. So he's had my support from day one, and I've already voted. So looking forward to Saturday week. And getting this done.
And are we going to see you hopefully in Wisconsin? You're going to make your way out there to the DNC?
I don't know. I do not know. It depends on what else we've got going on. First obligations at home.
That is true.
So we'll see. But I hope y'all tell me about
we're
it.
We're going to try and make it out there. But we really appreciate you giving that your info, your POV for Joe Biden. I think it's going to be a really good debate. Now, I think we're going to have a really good debate. What caught me with Joe Biden, it was even before Obama, when he was on those investigative committees. And a lot of people, the young people, you know, he was tough. He knows the whole procedures on everything. When you're talking about policy.
Stable and just solid as a rock Joe Biden ran for, I think I'm right, in 1972 was his first race for the Senate.
That's true.
You and I weren't born.
We was not. I was 1 years old.
I was a glimmer.
Okay, there you go.
And he's been solid as a rock.
Yes, he has.
For all those years. And
yes, he has.
I just can't ignore that
and very fair and balanced.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about having friends across the aisle.
Yeah. That's what it takes to get things done is being reasonable. And that's, Lord knows this country needs reasonable.
That is. Well, we really appreciate that, Wheeler. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
We are signing out, everybody. Follow us on the campaign, and you can follow us on 1021 Magazine on YouTube, and that's the same thing on Instagram. All right, everybody. You all take care and stay locked in.